What's going on, man? Welcome to the Sports Rant Grant podcast. I am your host, Sports Rant Grant, and welcome to the show. You hear me? Y'all, the first thing I want to do today is I want to give a shout out to Jake Skermeta on YouTube. Um, he's a Saints sports analyst. I actually think he's got a gaming channel as well. I have not checked that out yet. But he's a Saints sports analyst on YouTube. And I'm giving him a shout out today because one of his videos spurred the topic for today. And I think it's time for us to talk about whether or not the New Orleans Saints at this point should really think about tanking this season, or whether they should think about trying to win these next 7 games and ending the season on a good note. And so I turn on Jay Skermeta's video because I watch him all the time. And a lot of times, y'all, when I watch videos on YouTube, I usually watch that video 2 or 3 times before I actually watch the video. You dig what I'm saying? Because what happens is I'll turn that video on and I'll start watching it, but then I'll start scrolling through the comments. And while I'm reading the comments, my brain just kind of zones the video out. So honestly, the video that I'm talking about, I haven't even watched it. This comes from the comment section. So I turn the video on, I get in the comment section. The first thing I put on there is I'm picking the Saints to beat Atlanta, just like I picked them to beat Carolina, right? Maybe not in those exact words, but that's what I put on. And I start reading through the comments, right? And I see someone who has commented saying the Saints will have a minimum of 8 wins and 9 losses by the end of the season. Now, I comment on this, I replied to this comment. A few people replied to it, then I replied to it, and I'm like, not gonna happen. You know what I'm saying? That would mean that they would have to have a minimum of a 4-game winning streak or 2 3-game winning streaks. Not gonna happen, in my opinion. Now, granted, our back end of the season is loaded with teams that we should be able to compete with. Outside of Tampa, I think we got Atlanta twice, Carolina, the Jets, the Titans, teams that we could actually beat. So I get the optimism. But I've been watching this team for 40 years, man. I'm a realist, and I just don't think that they can get it done this year. Now, that is what I commented in the section. And I also said, why would you want this anyway? And it kind of started a little firestorm up in there. Everybody was against me. Nobody was with me in saying that maybe they should think about tanking the rest of the season. Now, I want to give y'all reasons for winning the rest of your games and reasons against winning the rest of your games. And we're going to start with the 4 winning your games, right? So the first biggest thing was team morale. It would make this team so jubilant and the fans so jubilant to see this team go out and win 6 of their next 7 games, right? Going in the next season, we'd be on a high. I mean, Kellen would have the keys to the city. He would be becoming the mayor of the New Orleans if he did that, right? Also morale for the players, right? And then you get to the part of Tyler Shough and just the team in general as a whole actually showing improvement, actually showing that we can, be a good team. Um, Tyler Shough showing improvement. All of this will come with um, trying to win the rest of your games. Now, in the same token, when you think about a 9-8 season, or even let's say a 9-8 season, or an 8-9 season, right? At that point, you still don't make the playoffs, right? And I think this dude said 8-9. So at that point, you still don't make the playoffs. You still have a losing season, but you have good morale. And you'll probably end up with, let's just say, a 10th pick in the first round, right? Now, when we look at being against trying to win 6 of the next 7 games, you look at the fact that you're going to still be in the same position with a losing record. You probably won't have good team morale, but you also will have a higher draft pick. Let's just say where we are now at 2. So you win 8 games, you get the 10th draft pick, you're out of the playoffs, and you have a losing season. You win 2 games, you get a second round draft pick, you're out of the playoffs, and you still have a losing season. You have a little more morale over here for the team and the coach, and a little less fire from the fans. You're probably going to have a whole lot of talking over here from the fans if you don't win another game this season, right? First of all, I want to say it ain't about the fans. Fuck the fans right now, including me. You see what I'm saying? We need to see how we can get the best product on the field. So, in my opinion, I do believe we should be competitive, but not necessarily care about winning games. Now, with that being said, I have to talk about how I feel about this team and why I feel that way. Okay? So, I got to take y'all back a couple of years. It's 2022, right? That particular year, we had Derek Carr, we had Dennis Allen. We were 7-9. We took care of business the last game of the season to make the playoffs. We needed, I believe, Green Bay to lose to make the playoffs. They won instead, and we didn't make the playoffs. 7-9. The following year, 2023, we were 9-8 with Derek Carr and Dennis Allen. We were tied for first in the division with Tampa. They had the tiebreaker over us. We don't make the playoffs. So we get to last year. We went 5-12 last year, right? We start the season 2 good wins, and then things go downhill. Derek Carr plays injured for 2 or 3 games. He finally goes out. We know what happened next. A little bit of Hayner, a whole lot of Spencer Rattler. And then when Derek Carr came back, the season was pretty much over. Now, I want y'all to remember that with Derek Carr, the first 2 games, in the couple of games, in the games that he played last year, Derek Carr was 5-5 out of 5-12. Derek Carr was 5-5. Y'all, I honestly believe if we have a healthy Derek Carr all season last year, we quite possibly make the playoffs. We definitely win more than 5 games. And I wanted to bring that up because I'm looking at my Saints team right now, and I'm saying, for the most part, we have that same core team. You know, we just got rid of Shaheed. We still have Olave. We still have Demario Davis. We still have Cam Jordan. We still have Carl Granderson. I think Alontae Taylor was on that team, 2023, 2024. The offensive line, most of them are still there. We still have that core team, right? In my opinion. So the things that have changed is coach, quarterback, a little bit of shuffling on the offensive line, Tyrann Mathieu, and that's pretty much it, right? So, in my opinion, the Saints aren't a 2-8 football team. For the last 3 years with this core, we have been a fringe playoff team. So to come in this year and say that we're all of a sudden a trash football team is fucking asinine, to be honest. Kellen Moore inherited this team, and it was already supposed to have a quarterback in place. I definitely believe if you have Kellen Moore and his staff and Derek Carr healthy, the Saints are not a 2-8 football team. I honestly believe if you have Shough start the season, the Saints aren't a 2-8 football team. But here, we stand at 2-8, right? So, in my opinion, I don't believe it would be smart to go out and win 6 of your next 7 games and throw away this very, very high, very, very coveted, very, very expensive draft pick when you know you already have a decent football team. You see what I'm saying? Now, if Tyler Shough is that guy, it will show regardless whether we are 8-9 or 2-15. And I'm going to give y'all the very best example that I can give y'all of this scenario, right? I want to take y'all back to 1998. Peyton Manning. Y'all remember Peyton Manning's rookie season? Peyton Manning broke the rookie record for completions. He broke the rookie record for attempts. He broke the rookie record for yards in a season. He broke the rookie record for touchdowns in a season. He also threw 28 fucking interceptions in that season. The Colts were 3-13 that season. Well, let me tell you what happened the next season. The Colts get the 4th overall pick. They don't sell it. They draft Edgerrin James. And the season in 1999, they go to the playoffs. See what I'm saying? Now, y'all go back and tell me when Peyton Manning had this great rookie season with 28 fucking interceptions on this 3-13 team, tell me somebody said he wasn't good. Nobody said that. Because we could see the skill that he had. We could see the arm talent that he had. We could see the mentality that he had. Nobody said he was terrible because his team wasn't that good. The skill was there, and it showed. So nobody gonna tell me if the Saints don't win another game, that means Tyler Shough wasn't that dude. It's called the business of winning. Sometimes you have to do this to get to where you need to be. I mean, the Philadelphia 76ers, did they win a championship? No. Did they make themselves relevant again? Yes. You see what I'm saying? For tanking. They made themselves relevant again. They're not quite as relevant now, but they were. So it does work. It does work. You never know what you're going to get in the draft. I get it. You know, me personally, if I were the Saints and Tyler Shough is that guy, I would sell my high draft pick for more picks. You know, if I'm 2-8 and I get the second 2-18, 2-15, and I get the second draft pick, I'ma sell it to get maybe that 10th or 11th or 12th pick that I would have got if I was 9-8. And then I'm gonna get another pick on top of it. Now, when we talk about the organization of the Saints, we have to understand that, keeping it real, Mickey Loomis trash. Let's just keep it real. Mickey Loomis trash, bro. I personally don't give the GM a whole lot of credit when it comes to the draft. Where the GM's credit comes in, to me personally, is with signing players, free agents. That's where the GM needs to do his best work. In the draft, you have somebody evaluate players, you have the opinion of the coach, you have the needs of the team. It's not really about the GM. He just the one giving the picks. But when you have free agent signings, you got to sway them a little bit. You got to bring out that checkbook. You got to make them want to come to your organization. And in my opinion, Mickey Loomis has failed us in that regard. Because outside of Chase Young, I think, was a free agent. Drew Brees, there is really no other huge names there that I can think of that warrants any, any applause. And then when you get to Drew Brees, you understand that Drew Brees never wanted to come to New Orleans. New Orleans, for some reason, and I think it's got more to do with the state, and I love my state, my home state. But I think it's got more to do with the quality of life in the state, where people would choose to go and play elsewhere before they chose to come and bring their family to New Orleans. This has been an ongoing thing for New Orleans. All of the teams have a hard time getting free agents. Most of the stuff we hit on is draft picks. Breeze didn't want to come. He wanted to go to Miami. Miami's doctors didn't clear him. And we was the next best choice because we were the ones showing the Knicks most interest in him. Mind you, he would have been in Miami with Nick Saban. And when you look at Chase Young, the same thing can be said for him. When they came up on the chopping block, him and the other guy, I can't think of his name right now, Chase was at the bottom. He went to San Francisco, I believe, and then they didn't want him no more. We get him because most of the teams didn't want to deal with it and pay him. So I think Mickey Loomis has failed us in that regard. So I don't believe that this team will strive if we go more free agent route than we do invest in the draft. I personally feel like every player that Kellen Moore has brought in, just about, not every one of them, but majority of the players that Kellen Moore has brought in through the draft and through free agency has contributed for our team. I just want him to go out and get more of them, man. You know what I'm saying? I feel like 8 picks is better than 7. Your odds are better to get something that you want. You see what I'm saying? So, with the Saints being 2-8 right now, and with my belief that with better quarterback play, they already a fringe playoff team. But we are 2-8 as it sits. I think we should take advantage of this position that we are in, because we damn sure better than a 2-8 team. Anyway, man, let me get up out of here. I am your host, Sports Rant Grant. Yep, I'm gone.